Madam Speaker, I have many reasons on why this importation of homegrown foods should be banned. In my state, for instance, Niger State. Niger State is one of the largest producers of food in this country. Madam Speaker, it is sad that Nigeria still prefer to import foods that are contaminated as against locally produced foods.
We, the people of the northern Nigeria, we have food in essence. But the southerners that depend on food exports that are supporting this motion, do you have food? If Honorable Abdullahi's motions go through, these people will have food.
Hello and welcome to another electrifying session of the Nigeria House of Commons TV show. Today we tackle an issue that sits right at the heart of every Nigerian's plate. Should we ban the importation of homegrown food commodities?
By cutting off foreign food imports, Nigeria will be forced to invest in the domestic agricultural sector.
Ebo in particular is for rice and all of that. Can they feed themselves alone?
Listen, this is more than a policy conversation. It's about ensuring food security, balancing local growth with global trade, and finding pathways for sustainable development.
So if there's a ban on the importation of these commodities, believe me, there's going to be a significant increase in production.
Put things in place first. Before you ban, you can't ban without putting things in place and expect the economy to be okay.
Can we stop talking about banning, rather focus on exporting? If we export our own goods, what will happen?
With passionate conversations on both sides, listen, let's dive into this conversation.
Madam Speaker.
Jesus. Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend our unity, and uphold our honor and glory. Almighty God, ruler of heaven and earth, we beseech thee to inspire and guide all our counsels and actions, so that we may always walk in the path of justice, peace, love, and charity towards one another. Help us with thy grace to do only those things that will promote the unity, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria. Amen.
Amen.
I have examined and approved the votes and proceedings from the last plenary. Honorable members, we move into the next business of the day. The first business of the day is a motion, and the motion is standing in the name of Honorable Abdullahi Suleiman. Honorable Abdullahi Suleiman is invited to kindly lead the debate on the motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the great opportunity to speak. My name is Honorable Abdullahi Suleiman Eji, representing the great people of Niger State, the original food basket of the nation.
So what happened to Benue?
Benue, this is a discussion for another day. So, Mr. Speaker, today I will be leading this important motion on the ban on the importation of homegrown foods in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker.
Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
I have many reasons on why this importation of homegrown foods should be banned. In my state, for instance, Niger State. Niger State is one of the largest producers of food in this country. Madam Speaker, it is sad that Nigeria still prefer to import foods that are contaminated as against locally produced foods. Madam Speaker, I'm going to list some important points for you today on why this should be stopped and stopped immediately. Number one, when we ban the importation of homegrown food commodities, we are going to be encouraging our domestic farmers. Madam Speaker, we are going to reduce our dependency on imports. Madam Speaker, we are going to strengthen the Nigerian economy. As of today, over 60% of Nigerian foreign reserves are spent on the importation of these commodities. This has weakened our naira. Madam Speaker, in the early 1980s, when Nigeria was still a net exporter of food commodities, we can recall that our dollar to naira ratio was literally 1 naira to a dollar. What is the reality today? Nigerian naira has been weakened completely because of the over-dependency on imports. Madam Speaker, when we ban the importation of homegrown foods, we are going to promote our value addition. We are going to encourage agro-processing. It is going to support the rural development and it will enhance its growth. Now, I'm going to mention to you the devastating effect this has had on our country's GDP, Madam Speaker. Now, these are the sad reality that Nigeria is facing today due to this over-dependency on imported goods. This has caused a sad reality for us, and many Nigerians are not even aware of these issues. Madam Speaker, Nigeria now spends over $10 billion annually on importation of foods alone. This has contributed significantly to the trade deficit, and it has lowered our GDP's growth. Madam Speaker, honorable members, imported food accounts for over 20% of Nigeria's total imports. This has caused our vast agricultural potential to continue to decrease over the years. Madam Speaker, as of today, before I came for this plenary, the Chief Executive Director of the Nigerian Exports Council, Noye Ayeni, said that as of today, Nigeria still spends $480 million on the importation of rice annually, rice alone. This money would have been in circulation in Nigeria. This money would have helped to improve the life of our local farmers. This money, if it was in circulation in Nigeria, would have added to job creations for our local farmers. Madam Speaker, after restriction on food imports by the Muhammadu Buhari-led administration on rice, Nigerian production on rice increased by over 75%. Madam Speaker, I want us all to know the importance of this issue. This is not about party. This is not about emotions. This is about the lifeline of our people and our country.
All right, Honorable Abdullahi, what are your prayers before this Honorable House?
So, Madam Speaker, my prayers are as follows. Number one, I want the government to provide financial support and incentive to farmers. Number two, our government should improve agricultural infrastructure. Number three, our government should support agricultural research and innovation. Number 4, our government must support agro-processing industries and develop our local market. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Abdullahi. Any seconder to this motion? Honorable Bome.
Madam Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Imwebome Jude Izenua, representing the great and wonderful people from the heartbeat of this nation, Edo State. The House notes that in the past, the mainstay of Nigerian economy was agriculture until the discovery of crude oil. The dependence on agriculture dwindled irrespective of vast arable lands in this country. What prevailed afterwards was peasant farming, which heralded the prevalence of importation of homegrown foods for local consumption, such as rice, sugar, wheat flour, fish, milk, vegetable oil, and the likes. This has led to increase in unemployment, collapse of Nigerian naira against other currency, inflation, amongst others. I therefore rise to second the motion as proposed by Honorable Abdullahi Suleiman that importation of homegrown foods, commodities, should be banned with the following reasons. One of the major bases for international trade is uneven distribution of natural resources and differences in climatic conditions. Nigeria is richly blessed with vast arable lands and good weather conditions to grow crops, but currently, 30 million hectares of arable lands is being unused, according to the Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Dr. Aliyu Abdullahi, as cited in the Punch newspaper of October 25th, 2024. Secondly, creation of employment. The more we import commodities, the more we create employment in countries such commodities are coming from. However, stopping such importation encourages farming by Nigerians, thereby creating more jobs for us Nigerians. Creation of balance of trade and balance of payment surplus. This happens when foreign trade is controlled and the level of import is greater than the level of export. This leads to increase in foreign exchange reserve, thereby empowering the naira against other currencies. Why should we not produce goods Nigeria has comparative cost advantage in? More so, it improves our gross national product and gross domestic product, which is the GNP and GDP, which makes our economy look even better. A school of thought posits that at a time in the history of this great country, Malaysia came to purchase palm kernel from Nigeria, which they took to their own country, planted them, and invested in them. In the first quarter of 2024, the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, NBC, Foreign Trade in Goods Statistics reports shows palm oil as Nigeria's 12th most imported product, accounting for 7.4 billion naira in the total cost of imports, while Malaysia is currently one of the 3 largest exporters of palm oil in the world.
Honorable Bome, you have 30 seconds.
I hereby urge you, Madam Speaker, and my honorable colleagues, to please support this motion, which promotes food security and makes the Nigerian economy better. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bome. Any opposition to this motion? Honorable Abdullah Isani.
Madam Speaker, my honorable colleagues, my name is Abdullah Isani, and I represent the industrious and enterprising people of the Center of Commerce, Kano State, Kanawandabu, ko da me ka zo an fika. I stand before this Honorable House of Commons to oppose the motion that was raised by my honorable colleague, Honorable Abdullahi of Niger State, on the ban of food commodities. Honorable colleagues, I don't want you to be deceived by Honorable Abdullahi, because we, the people of the northern Nigeria, we have food in essence. But the southerners that depend on food exports that are supporting this motion, do you have food? If Honorable Abdullahi's motion scale through, his people will have food. We have food. The issue of food scarcity, the issue of hunger, we know what is causing it. We know, but that is a topic for another day. It is not lack of food that is causing hunger. There is food. There is food. It is money to buy the food that is not available. There is food. The prices are being inflated, and we know what is causing this inflation. Northern Nigeria account for 80% of agricultural production, while southern regions depend more on imports. A ban will affect southern states, leading to regional inequalities and potential unrest. Maintaining food import ensure equitable access to food across the country, fostering national unity and stability. Nigeria loses 350,000 hectares of arable land equally to desertification. Local food production is highly vulnerable to climate risks such as drought and floods, which reduce yield. Banning imports without addressing climate changes will leave the country unprepared for potential food crisis. There are issues that need to be addressed, not banning the food. Human activities have led to climatic changes, which is affecting the food production. The normal grazing routes that the herders are using to raise their livestock have been taken over by industrialization, by our activities, by soil erosion. And these farmers are now coming towards the cities where the farmers are farming their crops. And this is bringing about the farmer and the herder crisis. We have not addressed this issue, this insecurity that is affecting our food supply. We've not created grazing routes for the farmers, for the herders. These are issues that we need to address squarely before banning importation of food commodities. And it's a tick for tat. If you ban country A from bringing in food into your country, that country too will ban your own food from going into their country. There's no two ways about it. We have this mentality of gatekeeping, of creating monopoly. Let the supply and demand determine the market forces. There are countries giving concession to other countries to help them farm some certain products.
Honorable Abdullahi, please round up in 30
Countries
seconds.
do it. Okay, Honorable Madam Speaker. We need to, in Benue State, for example, there's excess food supply, there's excess food products that are wasting in the farm. They don't have the mechanisms to process and store these food items. We need to put in place these structures before we can ban this importation. And again, you need to phase it out. You don't just wake up one day and ban it the way we ban subsidy and create problem. You need to do these things while you are banning. You create a time frame, and before you take the final decision, you put in measures that will cushion the effects. Madam Speaker, thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Abdullahi Sani. After this plenary, we will all come to your region since you have enough food to go around. Thank you very much. Any other opposition? Okay, Honorable Ladidi.
Madam Speaker, my honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Arike Ladidi Abdulmiminu, representing the good people of the land of honor and integrity, Ekiti State. I rise to oppose the motion being proposed by my honorable colleague, Honorable Abdullahi Suleiman, on the ban on the importation of homegrown food commodities in Nigeria. While any intervention to promote local production, boost the economy, and protect local farmers is commendable, a misguide at this time when infrastructures and logistics are not well put in place is a misguide. Firstly, this ban is inconsistent with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as Section 14 of the Federal Constitution suggests that we must give the rights and freedom to trade and commerce. Also, in 2019, the Nigerian government ban on the importation of used cars was ruled in the court on the ground that evaluated Section 14 of this very constitution that guides our human rights. The court ruled in favor of the plaintiffs, declaring the ban unconstitutional. Secondly, the ban on the importation of homegrown commodity will also lead to a devastating implication on our economy and food security. I mean the very people Honorable Abdullahi are trying to protect in the first place. Don't forget, it will disrupt the delicate balance of our food system, leading to shortage, price volatility, hoarding, and uncertainty for our consumers and businesses, which is the heart of every developing nation. This will ultimately harm our own very people that we are representing here today. Thirdly, our local farmers and our agricultural sectors are not equipped to cater for the demand of our nation. And this will put undue pressure on our local farmers, which will lead to reduce in produce and quality. In 2019, Nigerian government was had an attempt, don't forget, on rice ban, which led to hike in price. We all knew how much we were buying a mudu of rice then, as compared to after the ban, what happened. Not only was there shortage, there was hoarding, there was price hack, there was black market, everything because of what? A ban that was misguided. No infrastructure, no logistics. You just wake up one day and say, let's do this. Is that the way to go? No.
Honorable Ladidi, I'm afraid you have 30 seconds to round up, please.
Fourthly, don't forget, Nigeria is a member of the Economic Community of West African States and African Continental Free Trade Area. A ban on importation will convey our international obligations and undermine our commitment to regional integration and trade. And our president is the president of ECOWAS. Let's not forget. Instead of a ban, I suggest that we provide access to finance, technology, and training, improve infrastructures and logistics, and also invest in research and development to improve crop yield and disease persistence. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I urge us all to reject this motion and instead leverage on our diverse, abundant resources to create a more comprehensive, sustainable, effective, and substantial approach to promote local production and food security in our dear country, Nigeria. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Honorable Ladidi. Any other honorable member in support of this motion? Honorable Sharon.
Madam Speaker, my honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Sharon Wonso, representing the exquisite and elegant people of Abia State. Madam Speaker, I stand before this very house to support the motion that was moved by Honorable Abdullahi Suleiman. And I will start by addressing Honorable Ladidi. We are talking about the importation of homegrown food commodities and not the importations on cars. Why do I say so? You cannot compare the production rate of food in Nigeria to the production rate of cars in Nigeria. But I won't dwell on that to avoid waste of time. You also talked about destroying food security. And I'll prove you wrong, because once we ban the importation of homegrown food commodities, it will improve our food security. How? One, we'll have self-sufficiency. By cutting off foreign food imports, Nigeria will be forced to invest in the domestic agricultural sector, potentially leading to greater food self-sufficiency. And this will reduce the vulnerability to global market volatility, such as price increases or supply chain disruptions, as with what happened during the COVID-19 pandemic. Two, local food systems. Investing in local food production strengthens regional food systems, and it reduces the country's dependence on external food sources. And this will foster resilience and ensure that the country can meet its own dietary needs, even without relying on our international markets. Two, I'm going to talk about why this motion should be supported. It's going to help to boost our local agriculture. And how will it do that? Job creation. We talked about the availability of food. We are talking about the logistics. We are talking about the distribution. That will create job opportunities. Imagine how many drivers can be employed moving food from the north to the west. Imagine how many logistics centers will be set up to oversee the transportation of this food and to make sure it reaches every area that is lacking in such food commodities. Thirdly, Madam Speaker, economic growth in rural areas. In rural areas where farming is the primary occupation, a ban on food imports could invigorate local economies. This will lead to better infrastructure, improve access to education, healthcare, and financial services, which can lift rural populations out of poverty. We will also be talking about local investment and innovations. With more demand for local food, farmers will be encouraged to adopt new technologies and improve their farming methods, not relying on old methods. This could lead to a rise in agro-processing industries, which we have already in Nigeria, increasing the value added to our agricultural products. Madam Speaker, to round up my point, I will also let you know that importation of food allows and constantly leads to the smuggling of food commodities into our country, undermining the quality of food that is being smuggled into this country, thereby increasing the health risks and causing health damages to our citizens from consuming such quality of food. Madam Speaker, my prayers, therefore, will be that the federal government should be...
Honorable Sharon, excuse me, are you amending the prayers? Because
I'm not. I'm just adding to what Honorable Abdullahi has said, and which is that federal government should be more intentional about the Ministry of Agriculture, putting more investment into the sector by subsidizing agricultural products such as fertilizers, pesticides, and if possible, give farmers lands on lease for massive planting to lead to increased production. Two, to address what Honorable Abdullahi talked about, food insecurity. Madam Speaker, I'll use 30 minutes to round up.
You have 30 seconds to round
I'll
up.
use 30 seconds to round up, Madam Speaker.
Thank you.
To address what Honorable Abdullahi said concerning food insecurity, the federal government and state government should be deliberate about the security of farmers, making sure they are safe to go into their farms without them worrying about herdsmen, bandits, or even kidnappers. And lastly, government will ensure that there is easy distribution of food across the nation, even after our food production is available. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Sharon. Order. Any other opposition? Okay. Honorable Justin.
Madam Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am Honorable Justin Odenkalo. Representing the Eastern Heartland, the good, bad, ugly people of Imo State. Madam Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I hope I'll have a very safe ground to run because my oppositions, they normally get scared, but it's well. Be coming down. Madam Speaker, we are talking about ban. One thing about Nigeria is we are very eager to make policies. Very eager. As we did when it comes to subsidy. With this one, this one, Things are not done that way. First of all, why not put things in place and give time before you now execute? Madam Speaker, I think it is important to know that we should look into the market sustainability and demand-supply gap. Madam Speaker, domestic production of food commodities often cannot fully meet demand. The truth of the matter is, my honorable colleague, Honorable Abdullahi from Nasarawa, my honorable colleague, Honorable Oche from Benue, my honorable colleague, Honorable Bernard from Ebonyi. We all know that all of these places, Ebonyi in particular, is for rice and all of that. Can they feed themselves alone? Can they feed Ebonyi alone? These three states I just mentioned, can they feed over 200 and something million people of Nigeria? Yes. Please. Madam Speaker, in 2023, Nigerian rice consumption alone, reached 8.3 million metric tons. But domestic production stood at 5.7 million metric tons. Why? What happened to the remaining of 2.6? If we just ban, because what they are saying we should ban, if we ban these importations, how are we going to reach to make up this 2.6 here without putting the necessary things in place? This is just last year, 2023. Last year. It's not far. So how do you just stand up and say, rather, I think we should be talking about how we are to, put things in place. Make sure that our local farmers are well equipped. They still buy fertilizers. Those fertilizers, are they being manufactured here? No. They're being imported. Can we find a way to make our own fertilizer in order to make our food, exploit? And in order to, can we stop talking about banning, rather focus on exporting? If we export our own goods, what will happen? What will happen? You import and export. Madam Speaker, I don't know if we also look at, if we ban this, are you really going to stop smuggling? The answer is no.
Please be warned.
Are you going to stop smuggling? Madam Speaker, it is also to bring to your notice that if we ban these importations, we have not banned smuggling. We have not banned black markets. There are people that still find their way to smuggle rice. And what that means is prices will do what? Will go high. Can we, first of all, my honorable member, Honorable Abdullahi, talked about food security. Can we, first of all, put all of these in place? That is all I'm just praying for. Not ban. We remove fuel subsidy. We ban importation. You do that, and Nigerian suffers. Don't forget that there are people that their business is solely depend on importations. Okay. There are people that business solely depend on it. Have you found a way to make sure that they don't feel the heat you have to bring to them?
Honorable Justin, please, you have
I saw submit, Madam Speaker, that this bill, either talking about this motion, either talking about banning, rather we should restructure it into amending and putting things in place first. Then gradually, not just verbally like that, gradually you'll be dropping the rate of importation. If the importation is at 50%, drop it to 30, drop it, and before you know it, gradually it goes. And nobody will feel the heat. Madam Speaker, I so submit.
Thank you very much, Honorable Justin. Is there any opposition? Any other honorable member in support? Honorable Olaniwaju.
Madam Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise this morning to support the motion being raised by my honorable colleagues, Honorable Abdullahi. Madam Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Timothy Olaniwaju Adeolu, representing the good people of Lagos State, the Center of Excellence. Madam Speaker, honorable colleagues, firstly, I would like to thank and appreciate my honorable colleagues from other party for supporting us. I think we are fighting the same cause, and I believe the Nigerian will be very proud of us generally. Thank you very much. Now, Honorable Abdullahi, permit me to let me just start with you. When we are talking about I don't see reason for us to be calling ourselves a giant of Africa when we fail to take a bold step.
Thank you.
Being a giant of Africa, it means that we're supposed to be at the forefront. And the House will recall that the issue of economic meltdown that Nigerians have been facing is a global problem, challenges. And this thing emanates immediately did Russia and Ukraine started their war. And what make Africa, most especially Nigerian, what make it affect us more is because that we fail to plan. And whenever you fail to plan, you also plan to fail. Because we fail to have a foresight. Now, Madam Speaker, my honorable colleagues, my people have explained and have put some statistics together to see the reason why we need to ban this importation of homegrown food. Firstly, I want to correct the impression that what we are yearning for, what we are clamoring for, is not, you can't expect us to stand up and say they should ban a kind of food that is not being produced in Nigeria. Yeah. You can't expect us to stand and say they should ban, let me take for instance, basmati rice. There is no provision for it in Nigeria. But we are talking about the homegrown food here in Nigeria. But now, my people have talked about the positive impact and also the negative impact. But I believe when we are talking about the food securities in Nigeria, but the major challenges I think we have is that the distribution, food distribution. And I want to expatiate and then talk more about the food distribution and then how to make positive impact and how to rejig this system.
Sorry,
Madam Speaker.
Honorable Olaniwaju, while you are talking more, please talk more in 1 minute. Thank you.
Okay. Madam Speaker, let's talk about the improvement of infrastructure, road and transportation. Under improving of infrastructure, we have road and transportation. We know that most of our people at the rural area, they are having, there is a challenges facing them when we are to transport their goods and services out from the rural area down to the cities. And another thing is cold storage facility. We need to let me say a big kudos to my governor, the governor of Lagos State. My governor went to K2 to inspect one of the is going to be the largest logistic hub as far as Sahara Africa is concerned. And then what does this mean? I think this thing is going to help Nigerians very well, most especially people from North, most especially my honorable colleagues from the northern part. There are some goods that we are producing that it can't stay long. And I'm encouraging and I'm pleading to other governors to emulate this step by doing the same things. So when we are in the time of pre-season, people can have access to that goods. And another thing is the rail and waterway. Expanding rail and waterway infrastructure could help reduce transportation costs and easy congestion on our road. And I think that's the best way to transport any good things, any goods. And technology integration. We are talking about the data-driven solution. We are in a modern world. We need to apply, we need to put some things in place. And then we are talking about the mobile platform, blockchain for transparency. Using blockchain technology to track food from the table can improve transparency, reducing corruption and build trust in when we are talking about the issue of smuggling and all of that. See, this thing can capture that. We will make use of we will digitize everything. We will make use of blockchain to track everything. So in order to have a transparency system. And we are talking about the policy and regulatory reforms. Food security policy. Government should implement policy that ensure food is affordable and accessible. Those are the things that will help this policy to make it fair enough for everybody, for the whole masses. And we are talking about the price control and subsidize. Actually, when we are talking about the price control, people may be thinking that, okay, it's going to extort some people. But that is the aspect that the government needs to come in by make sure that by subsidizing some good for the common man. And if Nigeria can invest money in subsidizing food, it's very reasonable. It is very reasonable and it's very important, and people will feel it. People will feel it directly that, okay, they are getting something from the government. And another thing is improving coordination and collaboration, public-private partnership. Please, just give me 30 seconds, Madam Speaker. I expect the government to collaborate with the NGO, the private sector, bring everybody together, the community leaders, let them have the sense of belonging. When people have sense of belonging, I believe they are going to work in hand together to make sure that we have the. And then let me just say something. During the past administration, President Muhammadu Buhari, before they banned the importation of rice, the president made sure that he put some things in place. And I let me just read to the whole house. Maybe my honorable colleagues have forgotten, but I will bring it to your notice. But the president then launched anchor borrowers programs, launched in 2015, national agricultural growth schemes, presidential fertilizer initiative, Nigerian incentive-based risk sharing system of agricultural lending, and the agricultural credit guarantee schemes. These are the things that federal government then put in place. The only thing that I expect us, okay, let's see how this thing work perfectly, and then let's bring them together. Let's see them work perfectly so that we can have the better result. Thank you very much, honorable colleagues.
Thank you, Honorable Olaniwaju. Well done. Any other honorable member in opposition? Honorable Oluchi.
Madam Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I am Opara Oluchi Rosanna, representing the light of this nation, Anambra State. Madam Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I think we have a problem of reactive policy making, more like policy myopia. We tend to want to put policies in place, like subject them before bringing approaches or putting things in place to halt these things. For example, we have a problem of storage in Nigeria. For example, all our foodstuff that we've been producing in Nigeria, some of them go to waste. We don't have a storage system in place to halt this, yet we want to ban food. History has it that President Muhammadu Buhari, the House recalls, that there was a time when there was a ban on rice importation by the past administration. We all know how the country fared within that period, how rice rose. As at 2011,
the floor, please.
A bag of rice was at 5,000 naira. 5,000, I'm talking about 50 kg rice. It was at 5. Immediately that ban was put in place, we had a problem of rice. Now, as at now, rice is at 100 and something thousand naira for 50 kg. We did not stop the problem of our borders. Because up to now, I want to even use this opportunity to commend the effort of an investigative journalist, Fisayo Soyombo. With all his reports about rice smuggling up until now, what have we done about it? All these reports have been... It is all this ban that we wake up without putting things in place. You ban things. And then you have people going through various routes because no matter how it is, the only thing a human being can do is the right to survive, and they can do anything for them to survive. And food is something that is very pertinent. I heard Honorable Abdullahi make a claim that in the early 90s, Nigerian exports food, and then because of our current import of foods commodities in Nigeria, the naira, the naira weakened because of the import. I also want Honorable Abdullahi Suleiman to also note that you can't compare Nigeria's population during that period to Nigeria's population right now. Secondly, at the time when Nigeria was doing all of this, Nigeria was a high exporter of cocoa, timber, and all this rubber. Right now, we've actually deviated all the way. We've left everything agriculture and moved on this. Move on to crude oil and all of that. Just calm down. Let me get some. Thank you very much. I'm even grateful that you agree that this is the problem. But the problem is this: you did not do anything to make sure that all these things are produced, and you are still exporters of all of this. But the only thing we don't export. How many cocoa do Nigeria export to other countries? Right at now, how many cocoa do you export to other countries? But that is why you should put things in place first before you ban. You can't ban without putting things in place and expect the economy to be okay. That is what we are saying. And I want to tell us that if all the alternative approaches that my party and members of my party have raised, if we have all of this put in place, it's natural for these things to end. It's very natural. It's very natural for you to not to have people importing things to the country when everything is in place, when you have a good transportation system, when there's a good storage system, and all of these things are put in place. It's natural. We don't even have to sit down here as honorable members to be debating on a policy like this if these things are put in place. But the fact that we are sitting down here debating on this, we all know that we have not done anything. And that is why we are here. It's on this that I stand to oppose this motion. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Oluchi. At this point, I would invite Honorable Abdullahi Suleiman to give his final remarks on this motion.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity once again to speak. My name is Honorable Abdullahi Suleiman Eji, representing the great people of Niger State. Now, I want to ask my colleague, Honorable Oluchi, a very good question. She asked that the food we're producing in Nigeria, how do we store them? So I want to also ask her, how do we store the ones we're importing? That is the question. How have we been storing that? So, and I want to also go to Honorable Justin as well. Honorable Justin made mention that the food we produce in Nigeria can't go in circulation. That is not true. Honorable Justin, during the ban on rice in Nigeria, Nigerian rice production increased significantly from 7.1 million metric tons between 2015 and 2017 to 8.9 in 2018 alone. So if there's a ban on the importation of these commodities, believe me, there's going to be a significant increase in production. And I'll give you a very good example regarding access to roads and storage facility. In my community, AG community in Niger State, before the ban on rice importation, because rice is our major exporting product, there was bad road network between our village to the city center in Mina and to other places. But during the ban, our farmers began to produce more rice. They began to pay more taxes. And believe me, today we have suitable road network from Eji to the city center and across Nigeria. So this ban is long overdue, and I expect honorable members here to support this motion for the interest of Nigeria and Nigerians. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Atomic bomb.
Order. Would invite the fact checker. Order, honorable colleagues. Honorable Abdullah Isani. Honorable Abdullah Isani.
Don't be like them. Don't be like them.
All right. I'll invite the fact checker to kindly. Honorable Bernard.
Point of order. Raise it.
What's the point of order?
Raise it.
Order 9, Rule 1, Sub 7. It shall be out of order to use offensive and insulting language on members of the House. Madam Speaker, I think it is heavily insulting for Honorable Justin to say that Honorable Abdullah is more honorable than them. What it means is that we are less honorable and we do not have value. I would not think, he said it literally, and we don't think it's something that we should condone in this house, and it should be corrected and be made to apologize to us, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Justin, did you mention that they are more one honorable member is more honorable than the other?
Madam Speaker, honorable colleagues, I want to leave my honorable members from my party to make mention when I say something like that.
That's the question you were asking.
I want to put it to my honorable members to make mention, because if I say yes or no, it might not be true, it might not be right. So I want to allow my fellow honorable members from my own party to make mention when I say something like that. Thank you, Madam.
Honorable, excuse me, Honorable Justin. Okay. Other honorable colleagues, Honorable Olanrewaju, you are hereby suspended from this plenary. Sergeant at Arms, please walk Honorable Olanrewaju out of this plenary. Thank you. Honorable Justin, the question I asked was a yes or no question. Did you or did you not say that?
Madam Speaker, I did not say that.
Honorable Abdullah Isani, did you hear him say that?
Madam Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Abdullah Isani and I represent the enterprising and industrious people of Kano State. If Honorable Joshua feels he is less honorable,
Honorable Abdullah, refer yourself to the question. Did you hear that or not? It's a yes or no question.
Let me land, Madam Speaker.
You don't have to land. Yes or no? Did you hear that or not?
I did not hear, but if he feels that way, then it is that way.
Thank you. Other honorable members, Honorable Justin, as an honorable member of this Honorable House of Commons, it is imperative that you don't bring any derogatory words to the House. Honorable Joshua, your point of order is sustained. Thank you. Fact checker, please set the record straight.
Honorable, our very delectable Madam Speaker, honorable members, I rise to set the facts straight to give credence to our conversations so far. And I will start with claims made by the very first speaker, the mover of the motion for today, in the person of Honorable Abdullahi Suleiman. Honorable Abdullahi Suleiman made the first claim that Niger State is the largest producer of food in Nigeria, and the verdict for this claim is correct. Recent reports indicate that Niger has overtaken Benue State as the food basket of the nation. He went on to make another claim about Nigeria spending 10 billion annually on imported food. And the verdict for this claim is correct. Nigeria spends approximately $10 billion annually on food imports. He went on to make a third claim that Nigeria spends $480 million on the importation of rice alone. And the verdict for this claim is incorrect. Nigeria spends approximately $1.3 billion on rice alone, which reflects a significant increase from previous figures. He also went on in his closing statements to make a claim that local production of rice increased significantly by over 2 metric tons, which is from 7.1 million metric tons to 8.9 metric tons. And the verdict for this is correct. The second speaker, in the person of Honorable Jude Bomen, made a claim that 30 million hectares of arable lands in Nigeria are left unused. And the verdict for this claim is correct. Approximately 30 million hectares of arable lands in Nigeria are currently unused. He went on to make a second claim that Malaysia is one of the top exporters of palm oil in the world. And the verdict for this claim is correct. Malaysia is the second largest producer and the biggest exporter of palm oil in the world, following behind Indonesia. The third speaker, Honorable Abdullah Hisani, made more general comments and made no data-related claims. So I'll move on to the fourth speaker, in the person of Honorable Arike Ladidi Abdulmumini, who made reference to a report that the WTO, which is the World Trade Organization, ruled against Nigeria on the ban of importation of homegrown food in 2019. The verdict for this is correct. The World Trade Organization ruled against Nigeria regarding its ban on importation of homegrown food in 2019. The fifth speaker, Honorable Sharon Owosu, made a claim about the importation of food, that she made a statement, rather, that the importation of food leads to smuggling of harmful food items. No sources were provided for this claim. Therefore, the verdict is no sources and may be misleading. The sixth speaker, in the person of Honorable Justin Odinkalu, made a claim that in 2023, rice consumption in Nigeria reached 8.3 metric tons. The verdict for this claim is correct. In 2023, rice consumption in Nigeria reached 8.3 metric tons, local consumption. And the seventh speaker, in the person of Honorable Olarewaju Timothy, made more general statements, and I actually could not capture his data-related claim when he made one. So I'll move to the eighth speaker, in the person of Honorable Oluchi Rosanna Opara. Most of her commentary was general in nature, and I could not capture any data-related claim in her comments. So with this, I would now take a bow, and thank you all, very distinguished members.
Thank you, Honorable Fact Checker. Is there any member of the audience who would like to contribute to this debate? All right, you have the floor, please.
Madam Speaker, members of Parliament, my name is Maserichi Batlomi, representing the common man. I've been privileged to travel across the country in the last couple of months. I've also lived across Nigeria from the north to the south and the west. And everywhere in Nigeria, Nigerians are hungry. I just returned from a prolonged journey to Enugu State. And sadly, it has one of the worst road networks in Nigeria, which is a contending issue. I traveled in August to the south-south. Sadly, a portion of the road, we spent about 3 hours to cross that section in Edo State. Then when we crossed, I noticed that while we were on queue, there were truckloads of vehicles conveying different food produce. And most of them have spent hours and days on that particular route. Now, issue at hand is food insecurity. I bought a paint rubber of beans last month in Enugu for 8,000 naira. That was the cheapest I could get. Fast forward to 2019, I just moved to Jos, Plateau State, and I bought the same paint rubber of beans for less than 1,000 naira. And currently, fact shows that Rather, our people have this adage that when two elephants fight, the grasses suffer. The motion to ban the importation of homegrown food is not in the interest of the common man. Because what we have here are people throwing rhetorics. It's a good idea, but is it practicable? If you ask me and my brothers on the street, no. Because for a lot of reasons, people are not able to farm as they used to. I have lived in this Abuja for a couple of years, and I remember a few years back, every mountain around we are green. Now when I turn, I see buildings and barren lands. These are problems that are also causing food insecurity.
Thank you.
So instead of banning the importation of food, the government should make move to fix the issues, especially the farmer headers crisis and the road infrastructure, to ensure that even the ones that are produced can be moved within the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bartholomew. Any other member of the audience who has something to add? All right. In the absence of none, I would say that today's motion is the one that concerns every Nigerian, especially in these times where we are facing economic challenges. Agriculture contributes greatly to our GDP, and the price of food products have greatly skyrocketed in recent times. The productivity of farmers, especially in the northern Nigeria and in other rural areas, has drastically reduced because of insecurity as well as farmer and elder crisis. It is therefore imperative that we intensify our security, especially at the rural areas, to this end. It is also important to support our local farmers financially, provide incentives for them, such as subsidization of the price of fertilizers, and provide an effective agricultural infrastructure. So conclusively, as a nation, the time has come for us to ensure that we take urgent measures and put structures in place to improve our agricultural sector, as improving our agricultural sector would aid food security. So, honorable members, the motion before us once again is ban on importation of food commodities. Those in support of the motion should say aye. Aye. Those against the motion should say nay. Nay. The ayes have it. I would invite the majority leader to move a motion for adjournment.
Madam Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Cletus Odriso-Paul. I represent the People Paradise. Madam Speaker, honorable members,
The People Paradise.
I am from Cross River State.
All right.
I rise to move a motion for adjournment to a later day as agreed by the Honorable House. Thank you.
Minority Leader, kindly second.
Madam Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am Opara Rosanna Oluchi, representing the light of this nation. I second the motion for adjournment of plenary to a later date as agreed by the House. Thank you.
Thank you, Minority Leader. Honorable members, the motion before us is whether or not this plenary should be adjourned to the next date as agreed by the House. Those in support of the motion should say aye. Aye. Those against the motion should say nay. Amen. The ayes have it. All right.
Our debate today brought to light the complexities around banning the importation of homegrown food commodities. We had very heated conversation, which even led to the walking out of an honorable member by the honorable speaker. Well, while the idea of banning importation of homegrown commodities sounds very exciting to the ears, we had compelling perspective from the opposing party, shining light on issues around transportation, logistics, and asking the critical question, can we feed the over 200 million Nigerians we have today? As we close, we invite you, our dear audience, to ask yourselves these critical questions. While we are thinking about the sustainability of our farmers, we also need to consider the issue around accessibility to food and food security. Until next time, I urge you to remember, you too are a part of the story. My name remains Ifunanya Nduka, your host. Bye.